Half of La Liga is still mathematically in the relegation battle with 2 games left, and Inter take home their second piece of hardware of the season.
In Germany, the relegation race is coming down to the wire, and all 3 team supporters will be multi-monitor watching. While in England, we have 2 weeks left to determine the winner and the last loser of the season. All of this and more on this next episode, 135 of the No Business Soccer Podcast. We're not redoing it. It's 135. Kick us off, Snooze.
Let's dig in. Oh yes.
Man. What a start.
Welcome back to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze, and we almost got the full fam with us today. We got Danny P on the 1s and 2s, and J-Fam, he's got a little bit of snake draining in the HVAC stuff to worry about today. So hopefully our thoughts and prayers are with the boy, because that's not going to be fun. But everybody's here to see the favorite hype man, Vic. What you sipping on, dog?
Well, I've been telling you guys for weeks that I was going to do a cocktail. I finally looked up this cocktail. It's a mezcal cocktail from Lou Fernandez, because, you know, J-Fam has been calling me out this entire time. And then J-Fam's not going to be here, so we don't got to do all that. So I crack it open a new bottle. That's what we're doing. This is the Weller single barrel. This is kind of hard to find, except they're kind of dropping a lot right now. It's my 5th addition to the Weller family. And I just thought it'd be nice to crack this bottle open while we were here on the Poddy C, and have a fresh crack, because I don't think I've ever done that here. So while I struggle to get this open, go ahead and like and subscribe on the video. It's the best way to tell YouTube, hey, maybe these guys are pretty cool to hang out with every once in a while and talk some European football. And almost there, I promise. There we go. And let's get a bottle crack. Let's get it. It's going to be a rough day. I'm telling you guys right now, it's going to be a rough podcast. It's we've had leaks. We've restarted like 3 times. The intro we did do, I stopped and said, let's just keep going, because we're not going to stop. We're freezing, all kinds of stuff. So let's just do a bottle pop. Let's see. Ooh, that was cute. Cheers, everyone.
Yeah, that definitely is a first, though, because I don't think you've ever been cracked on the podcast live. So, you know.
That's not the way I said it.
Yeah.
That's not what it said.
Anyway, no, we got a lot to cover today. I mean, we have a lot to discuss on this Thursday. And, you know, it's a Thursday, which means it's a weekend look ahead. So we're going to be covering Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga, and the Prem, and all the things in between. Of course, we have a few stories along the way. And we're going to begin with the story because, Vic, I never talked about this, or I never asked you about this whenever it came up. I think you were still in Europe at the time, but or in the UK at the time. But when you went to the Liverpool game, I was listening to a podcast. Was there a no buying drinks from the stands or something like that protest? Was that the game you were at?
I don't remember that. There was a protest about the ticket prices going up, and they held up some signs, and somebody walked in front of something about the ticket prices. But also, I was in the hospitality suite, right? You know, the VIPs and stuff.
Okay,
you know, we're getting free
mind.
drinks. We're popping bottles. We're doing that kind of stuff. So I don't really know what happened.
That's why you didn't mention it. Okay, yeah. Yes, yeah. I'm pretty sure it was at the one you were at, but there was protests because of the season ticket prices going up, or just ticket prices going up. And so they were protesting that by not purchasing anything, no alcohol or nothing from the concession stands. And so anyways, it never came up. So I had a note. I was like, hey, make sure you ask him about that. But my boy was bougie that day. So I didn't even know what the common rabble was doing that day.
No idea. No, not a clue. Not a clue.
All right. Well, that's fair. Another thing I was going to tell you today, I was in a meeting and I hear a little cheep going on, and that's like birds cheep and they chirp, right? Would you say chirp or cheep?
I think chirp.
I think it's cheap though, right? Like they could cheep, you know?
I don't think I've ever heard that, but
no, everybody's heard of it. So anyway, I heard a bird cheeping and I was like, man, what is that? So I go into the attic and there's a full blown bird's mansion inside of my attic. Apparently there's a brick loose and he made a whole nest up in there. And so I had to remove
Oh,
Yeah, I know it was sad because there were eggs in there. There wasn't any babies. That would have been real heartbreaking. There's just eggs. Anyway, so I had to deal with that today, and I think there's still a bird up there, but now he has no way out. So I'm like, first off, that's sad. Second, I don't want him to like die and stink up there. So I'm gonna have to go check on that. I left it open for a while though. He didn't go out. So anyway, that's what's up with my life. Very interesting stuff outside of the podcast, Vic. Anything? What have you been up to?
Working. Gashed my knee today. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's right.
I'm cutting my fingers. Blood here and there.
Hey,
that's about it though.
Sweat, blood, and tears.
Yeah.
Also losing a lot of weight. Look at you. Slimming down, looking good in that jersey.
Getting some pumps in every now and then.
Right there.
Doing a little.
That's right.
Doing a little weight loss challenge before we head to Cancun, and I'm losing in the weight loss challenge and in the bet, but I'm also losing weight, so I guess all around comes to an end. I mean, to a good thing, but
even if you're not the biggest loser, you're still a loser in my book. So
thanks.
You always have that. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah.
I think, we have a lot to get into. So before we go over the pond, let's stay here in Austin, Texas, boots on the ground for your Austin FC Minute.
Well, it was a miserable Wednesday night for Austin FC and its supporters all around the world as we got just trampled 5-0 by San Diego in San Diego, by the way. I think San Diego had a MLS record, 4,326,889 passes within the first 15 minutes.
What are you
gave? Yeah, it looked like you put FIFA on like pro and you just started running to like the opponent and they just like passed all around you back and forth, back and forth. We looked like academy players, which we kind of were because we did have a rotated side. I didn't know we were going to have a rotated side when I said we were going to win 3-0. We got our ass beat. So, you know what? We're going to make this a really quick minute. That was a terrible game. We play again Saturday night against Kansas City, I believe. And, if you see your boy there, come say hi. I am going to be buying the first round. If you say, what's up to Hype Man Vic from No Business Soccer Podcast. So that's enough Austin FC. That was a terrible, terrible Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I chose to watch a show over there. I was telling you, I turned it on a little late and it was already 2-0. I'm like, that's probably not going to end well. And it didn't. There's 3 more goals after that. So, math. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll move over right along as we go to Italy.
Let's do it to Serie A.
Yes, in the Inter half of Milan, the birds are chirping and cheeping on that side of Milan. It's a domestic double for Internazionale in these news and notes for your update in Serie A. As they beat our Lazio, you see how I was trying to get my notes and just rambling for a bit. As they beat our Lazio 2-0 in the Coppa Italia with 2 first-half goals that came from an own goal and a tap-in was put on a platter for Lautaro Martinez. Lazio had a couple of chances, but other than that, not really too much that they were offering up as a fight back. Once Inter got up, they stayed up, and they didn't let them back into the game. And Lazio just kind of, they did what they could. Let's put it that way. Inter, though, getting that domestic double, yes, they didn't do as well as they should have in the Champions League. And yes, they lost to Bodo Glimt, which is, I'm sure in their eyes, very unexpected, probably a little bit embarrassing. But you can't knock them when they go and they win the league and the Coppa Italia in the single season. I feel like some of the other haters out there for maybe from Milan, something like that, probably look at it and say, yeah, but you got knocked out by Bodo Glimt. But ultimately, Vic, they win the double here. And it's a good season for Inter.
It is good. Always good. Always good getting some hardware, bro, especially too. We don't know what that's like anymore. But those are your top headlines for Serie A. Let's go ahead and get into the match day. And of course, we start with your No Business Soccer Podcast top matches for Serie A match day 37. And your top match is a derby between Roma and Lazio, and one that Lazio would love to play spoiler for.
The matchmakers knew exactly what they were doing when they scheduled the Derby della Capitale. I believe that's how you would pronounce that. This late in the season, it's the battle for Rome, and even though our Lazio aren't getting into Europe, they would love to keep Roma out of the Champions League next season, and that's exactly what they're going for as far as Rome goes. But especially after losing this Coppa Italia in the fashion that they did, they'll want to bounce back. And it's going to be tough, though, because there's not been a better goal scorer in pretty much all of Europe outside of Harry Kane than Daniel Malin since he's made the trip to Rome from Villa. Yes, Villa. But anyway, they've won 3 straight as well. This team is on fire. Everything points to Roma getting a big win and keeping their momentum for Champions League hopes alive. But that's why these derbies are so fun, Vic. You never know what could happen. And I'll be wearing my Lazio kit.
Let's go. I'll go and get it washed because I think it's dirty right now. So You're right. Good idea.
Thank you.
But that is your top matchup for Serie A match day 37. Let's get into the rest of the matches. And it actually all happens on Sunday, but it starts with either confirmation of Champions League or one of the biggest chokes of this modern time as Napoli take on Pisa.
Technically, a match that's important for Napoli to make sure they stay in the top 4. And it's not that I don't say that because it's not an important match. It's just that pizza. I swear I've done that 5,000 times this season. I'm so glad they're getting relegated. Anyway, it's just that Pisa have already clocked out, and it should be pretty easy for Napoli to get this win. If they don't, that's an embarrassment.
Next up is Parma heading to Como as Como look to crack to the top 4.
It's a great thing for Como to see a Parma side that are mid-table and have nothing to play for because Como are in Europe. Yes, that is confirmed, but they're still dreaming of the Champions League, and that dream can come a little bit clearer if they get this win over Parma.
And our next match is Milan looking for any points as they wrapped up top 6, but can still miss out on Champions League placement.
This one means nothing, and I'm not even bringing up how Milan needs positivity or any sense of the form or things that I've been talking about recently to see if we can get Pulisic having some type of momentum going in the World Cup, because it's just nothing's happening for this team right now, and I would be surprised if this isn't a draw.
And your next match was your No Business Soccer podcast top matchup. That was Roma and Lazio. We already talked about it. So we move on to Juve, also fighting for one of the last Champions League spots as they take on our Lazio.
With a 7-point gap to the drop and only 6 points up for grabs, our Viola, they're safe. That is confirmed, which is amazing because they absolutely need to be in Serie A. But Juve still has it all to play for as they try to stay in the top 4 hunt. I don't think the Fiorentina are going to put up much of a fight because they didn't show that they give up or that they gave a crap after they confirmed that they were safe last weekend. So we'll see how it turns out.
And I did mean our Fiorentina. They were next to each other, and I said the wrong name. I said the wrong R team. So, yeah.
Did you? I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, I said Lazio instead. Anyway. Good. Hopefully nobody else got that because I just called myself out. But Sunday continues with a match with no stakes except just to make sure no one picks up an injury as your league winners Inter take on the well-relegated machine Verona.
Yeah, this one's, like you mentioned, just a kind of a throwaway match. Inter wrapped up the league already. Verona are already going down. I don't know if there's anyone from Verona going to the World Cup, but I know there's a bunch from Inter. So nobody trying to get hurt this late in the season, especially with nothing to play for.
And next up, our table neighbors who are playing for pride as Atalanta welcome Bologna.
Bologna can still salvage their season if they can beat Atalanta in Bergamo. Atalanta are in the Conference League spot with a 6-point gap, and since they're table neighbors, it couldn't have fallen more perfect for Bologna. But the fact that they just had a terrible run of form, it means that they're probably not going to end up getting this win and winning again to overtake Atalanta. But they still have a chance, and all the ATL needs to do is not lose.
And our next match is Cremonese looking to continue to fight out of relegation as they take on the mid-table Udinese.
Cremonese need to win this game to catch the Milkmen. And the last match, their result, they have to fight, and they get to fight for one more week of this because they have been scrapping and clawing to get back in it. Udinese, though, they've won 2 in a row, and they still got to prove a point to prove to end the season on a high note. And I know I've been talking about Udinese a lot. They seem to do this towards the end of the season. I think they did last season as well, where they just start stringing some results together, making it feel like, man, they were pretty good last year. And then ultimately you look back at the season and they were just kind of mid-table like they usually are. Anyway, a little bit of a rant there. But either way, I don't feel like Cremonese are the team that's going to be able to continue to win these games. But if they do, look out.
Well, at the same time as that match is the other contender for relegation, Lecce, taking on the also mid-table Sassuolo.
The Milkmen are going to need to win against an impressive Sassuolo side. And if they win and Cremonese lose, they are confirmed safe. So it's all in their hands now.
And match day 37 ends with two teams playing for basically just friends and family as Torino and Cagliari go head-to-head.
That's right. With a 6-point gap to the drop, Cagliari know they only need a point to stay up, but Torino are through already, and they're going to be a tough team to beat. Even if Cagliari were to lose, it would still be unlikely that they drop. So it's like Vic said, really nothing to play for here, but I'm sure they'd rather be safe than sorry.
And those are your matches for Serie A match day 37. Let's get a quick refresher of the table. Not really much to refresh on the top of it, as of course Inter are still your champions. They have 85 points. There we go. They have 85 points. In the number 2 spot is Napoli, 15 points behind them with 70 points. They are followed by Juve in the number 3 spot with 68 points. And then rounding out our top 4 is AC Milan with 67 points. And then tickling our top 4 is Roma, also with 67 points, of course, back on goal differential. We can look at the bottom of the table now as we have two well-relegated machines in Pisa and AS Verona, which we say every week, but I think it's pretty good that we emphasize they've been relegated since like January. So
yeah, it's not even close.
Yeah, not even close. The next two teams we have fighting for relegation are Cremonese in the 18th spot right now with 31 points, and then Lecce with 32 points on 6 more points up to grab. So 2 more match days. They're basically the only ones in the relegation race, and they play at the same exact time this weekend. So it's going to be, again, fun to watch. They're going to be, all their supporters are going to be multi-monitor watching and at least having notifications on for that other score.
Vic, who would you prefer to stay up between the Milkmen and Cremonese?
Lecce. It's just a cooler name.
Lecce. Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say too.
It's like Spanish.
Even if Vardy is there at Cremonese, I don't know. Just their crest and their kits, like their colors. I don't like a lot about Cremonese. I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't know. So Milkmen, stay up. Okay. Well, that is it for Italy and Serie A. Let's move this train right along to Germany.
Let's do it. To Bundesliga.
And your news and notes from around the Bundesliga. Really, it's just to hype up the final match day as a whole. Again, they only have 34 match days because they only have 18 teams, which means that this is the last time you will see the Bundesliga until late August or early August, I think it is for them. Either way, it's going to be a while. So let's enjoy it. The final day, though, it's going to be dominated by 3-ways, Vic. A lot of 3-ways. With Leverkusen, Stuttgart, and Hoffenheim battling for the Champions League, and Wolfsburg, St. Pauli, and Heidenheim battling for survival. Let's check it out.
Well, those are your news and headlines for, of course, the decision day, Bundesliga match day 34. Let's go into the match day, and we're starting with your No Business Soccer podcast. Top matches for Bundesliga match day 34. And your top match is the doubleheader for the relegation race, as number 18 St. Pauli and number 16 Wolfsburg go head-to-head, while number 17 Heidenheim welcome mid-table minds. Whoever does the best gets to play to stay. It's
a direct battle as well between St. Pauli and Wolfsburg, like you were mentioning. Wolves know that even with just a point, they'll keep them out of the relegation spot. That means that St. Pauli are really going to have to go for it to make sure that they win this game. And I think St. Pauli also know, but there's just the goal differential and everything about Wolfsburg shows that they are the team to beat right now. St. Pauli have looked absolutely terrible for about, 2 months now. And the way that Wolfsburg has come back, and yes, they've lost a couple here and there, but they've just shown the fight that it looks like a team that's going to stay up. And this is a team that's won the Bundesliga before. Excuse me. So they haven't been relegated since, I believe it was 97. So this is a big, big deal for Wolfsburg to stay up. But also, you can't count out Double H because Heidenheim themselves, we told you last time out, the coach is already talking, saying he's been at the club for 19 years, which damn in itself. But also, he's never been relegated with this team in 19 years, he says, and he doesn't plan to start now. They just need to get a good result against Mainz, who they pretty much checked out. They know they're safe. They're good to go. I mean, they're all level on points, and all of them will be able to either get relegated or to make the playoff, and it's going to be absolutely insane and fun to watch. And the fact that we get a direct match between St. Pauli and Wolfsburg just cranks up the heat on this one. Vic, I'm excited.
Yep, credit to the matchmakers for that one. But those are your top matches for Bundesliga match day 34. Let's get into the rest of the match day. And it's decision day, so all games are at the same time. So after those two No Business Soccer Podcast top matches we just talked about, we're going to move on to Eintracht Frankfurt, looking to play spoilers to Stuttgart, who are in the midst of a Champions League race.
Frankfurt, for as shitty as a season they had up to this point anyway, they can still end up in Europe if they're able to catch Freiburg. But they've lost 3 of their last 4, and Stuttgart are duking it out with Hoffenheim for that 4th spot in the 4th and final Champions League spot. They're level on points, and it's whoever can get a better result is really going to be the one who gets in. So I don't think Stuttgart are going to take their foot off the gas, and nothing that Riera's Frankfurt has shown tells me that this is going to be a match that they're going to be able to win.
And next up are 2 teams, one safe from relegation, one safe in the Champions League as the best of the rest. Borussia Dortmund ending the season at Werder Bremen.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really more to add to that. It's a farewell game for both of them and their fans.
That's it. And we'll move on. Our next match is Hamburg, who are safe from relegation, but playing for pride as they take on a Leverkusen side who are trying to do their part to sneak into the top 4.
Leverkusen know they need to win and hope that Stuttgart and Hoffenheim lose so they can sneak into the top 4. It's unlikely, but it's not impossible. And the fact that they're all playing at the same time means that you're going to be able to see that table just flip-flopping all up and down. Every goal is going to change it. It's going to be really good stuff.
And another one in the midst of that is Hoffenheim, looking to not slip up and leapfrog Stuttgart to the top 4 as they take on Borussia Mönchengladbach.
It's the yin to Stuttgart's yang, as they know they just need to outpoint Stuttgart on the last day to finish in the top 4 for Hoffenheim. And let's not forget, Hoffenheim they were at one point, for a while now this season, we were calling them, or you were calling them the 3, what'd you say?
Can it be number 3s?
There you go. Can it be number 3s for so long? And then they kind of fallen off, and now they're trying to get back into the Champions League placement. I don't know if that's ultimately what's best for them going into next season, but they're going to get in Europe regardless. So, I mean, if you're going to have to stretch that squad thin, you might as well do it and get paid a lot of money and play some of the best teams. So they're going to be gunning for that top 4 spot. But I feel like Stuttgart would be the better. How do I put that without sounding like too much of a hater, Vic? They'll be the more fun team to watch in the Champions League.
All right. Well, our next match is Köln, who have done enough to stay in Bundesliga next year, getting a rough send-off as they take on the already crowned champions, Bayern.
Yeah, that is a rough send-off. I mean, Köln have been getting torn up lately, and they've had some good results overall, or at least good performances, but that's what we've been saying this whole season. Ultimately, the job was to stay up, and they did that. So I don't know how much you can fault them for that. But at the same time, I mean, Bayern and Cologne have nothing to play for, and that means that Bayern will probably blow them out like 5-0.
Next up is yeah, exactly. Sucks for Cologne. But next up is Union Berlin and Augsburg, who don't have any stakes, not much to play for. So yeah, I guess I'm done with that intro.
It's one last hurrah for the historic run of one Luis Marie Eta. Let's cheer on and hopefully spur on to another win. Augsburg got nothing to play for either, so we'll see if they can get one. But it was we'll be able to say that we were there whenever the first female ever in the top 5 leagues of European football took over a team, kept them safe, and then hopefully got a couple wins.
And next up, match day 34 and the Bundesliga season in with Freiburg, hoping to get into some European competition action, but they have to get past RB Leipzig.
And I honestly don't think that there's any chance that Freiburg goes balls to the walls here, even if they know that Eintracht Frankfurt are breathing down their neck for that Conference League spot, because they have the Europa League final against Villa coming up, and I believe that's the first one on the 20th. I think this game's on the 17th or something of that. So either way, I think they're going to be worrying more about getting into the Champions League, because if they beat Villa and they win the Europa League, they'll be in the Champions League. Plus, Frankfurt, they have a tough matchup of their own, so it's not like they're going to be looking over their shoulder too much. I think they expect Stuttgart to do their job. So the fallback, if Freiburg can't end up beating Villa, is, you get into that Conference League spot. Also, Leipzig have just been really good. Diamande has been tearing it up, and I'm sure they'll want to put on a show at the very last game of the season. So not too much that I can say in hopes for Freiburg winning this. But I will say, if Freiburg are able to beat Villa and get in the Champions League, what a story that would be.
And those are your matches for Bundesliga, match day 34 or decision day. Let's go ahead and take a look at the table for a quick refresher. As everyone knows, Bayern Munich are your champions. They have 86 points. Not interesting. Borussia Dortmund, the best of the rest, have 70 points, or 16 points behind the number ones, but still 5 points clear of RB Leipzig in the number 2 spot. Not interesting. RB Leipzig are at number 3 with 65 points. They're safe in the number 3 spot. Also not interesting. It gets interesting now, as the number 4 team, Stuttgart, have 61 points, and then tickling our top 4 is the previous Can It Be number 3's Hoffenheim. They also have 61 points, trying to get into that last Champions League spot. And then, of course, you have Bayer Leverkusen right there in the number 6 spot, seeing if they can leapfrog any one of these on goal differential, and hoping that one of them lose so that they can. So that's where it gets interesting. And then more places where it gets interesting is the bottom of the table, as we have a relegation race between Wolfsburg, Heidenheim, and St. Pauli. They all have 26 points apiece. They are all gonna finish bottom 3. We just don't know what order yet. And of course, the winner of or whoever does best this weekend gets to at least play for their life and try to get into Bundesliga again next year. So we will see how that goes. Again, I think it's St. Pauli and Wolfsburg, right?
Yeah,
St. Pauli and Wolfsburg, going against each other, 16, and then Heidenheim take it on Mainz. So not to mention Mainz, that hasn't looked very impressive, but I mean, they're still mid-table. You see, that's going to be fun to watch.
It is. Also, it looks like the dream is dead, but Bayern's run at having a higher goal differential than points total, they're on 86 points right now, and they have 82 goal differential. More than likely, they're going to beat Cologne, so they're going to need at least 7 more goals.
7. Yeah.
So, not impossible for a Bayern team that are just, absolutely tearing through teams.
But messed up. I think started Diaz, Kane, and everybody.
Just like, go out there. Let's get that goal. Let's get that goal differential up. No, especially with the World Cup right around the corner. All the players are like, we've wrapped it up. But anyway, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. I mean, maybe if this was in August or in the fall or whatever, it'd probably be a little bit more something that would possibly happen, but probably not. Okay, enough of that. Gonna be fun.
Okay.
Last hurrah in the Bundesliga, and I'm sad. I don't know why. I always get sad around this time when it's like, you find the fade and you know everything that's gonna happen, but also it's like, I don't get to watch these guys for another couple months now, and then it begins again. And you're happy all over. Okay.
We go again.
Let's do it. Let's move this train right along to Spain.
Let's do it to La Liga.
And I feel like this is just a soap opera show now. And it's called the real life of Real Madrid, because the news notes for the past 4 shows, if not longer, have been all dominated by Real Madrid, and that's no different this time around. Kylian Mbappe's explosive 4th striker comments have blown the lid off a massive internal war at Real Madrid. Returning from a 3-week hamstring injury layoff, Mbappe was benched and only brought on in the 69th minute of their most recent game, where he was met with loud boos and jeers and whistles from his own fans at the Santiago Bernabeu. And if you didn't know, there was a petition of 40 million people, like we mentioned last time, that were signing a petition to get him out of the club. So, you could expect that there'd be some boos and whistles when he comes back. But after the match, a defiant Mbappe bypassed the usual PR protocols and filters that he has in place. Of course, he's been through all the types of training you can expect. He went straight to the microphones and he said, I'm 100% fine. I didn't play because the coach, Alvaro Arbeloa, told me I'm the fourth striker in the squad behind Mastantuano, Vinny, and Gonzalo. I accept that. I was ready to start, and it was his decision. I mean, that's insane to come out and say. And it's also more insane if the coach put the most expensive man in Europe, in the world, on the bench and said, you're fourth striker. That's crazy. But either way, it continued. Mbappe further weaponized his interview by targeting the coach's entire system, stating that Real Madrid had structure in the first half of the season, where Arbeloa was not there, but lost everything in the second half of the season. And so this is just a big shit show, and everything's been going wrong. I mean, we have players hitting each other, knocking each other out with tables. I mean, this is just crazy stuff here. But the drama instantly escalated when Alvaro Arbeloa was told about Mbappe's comments during his post-presser, and a visibly stunned Arbeloa completely denied these allegations of the conversation ever happening, saying, I'd like to have 4 forwards myself. I don't even have 4 forwards on the team, nor have I said such a thing to him. He must not have understood me properly. I wouldn't tell him that he's the 4th choice striker. So he's not even like trying to mince words. He's basically saying, I never talked to that guy and said that. And later, just throw a little jab, Arbeloa threw some shade of his own, mocking Mbappe's complaints about his structure, saying maybe Mbappe scored more goals in the first half than in the second half of the season. That's why he said that. So, I mean, it's the last couple games of the season. They don't give a crap anymore. They're just throwing haymakers, throwing dirt, throwing shade. You know, they always say you want to keep the dirty laundry in-house. That is not the way that Real Madrid is working right now. And it's so weird. I think we've had a lot of speculation, and I think it's not confirmed, but all but confirmed, that the new manager, the new coach of this team is going to be Jose Mourinho. And I don't know how he's going to be able to handle all of these attitudes and these egos in this locker room. If there's anyone that can do it, it's him. But Vic, this is getting crazy.
Yeah, what a soap opera, like you said. Like, too much drama. Y'all just need to shut up.
Right?
You know?
Like, what the
what's
going on?
Too many feelings getting hurt.
Get paid too much money to be dealing with all this drama.
Well, those are your headlines for La Liga around La Liga this week. Let's go ahead and get into the match day. And of course, we start with your No Business Soccer podcast top matches for La Liga match day 37. And your first match is one of many that are in the relegation race, as table neighbors Osasuna and Espanyol, who are tied at 42 points apiece and just 3 points above the relegation line, battle it out.
It's like I mentioned in the top of the show, pretty much half of this league is in jeopardy of going down. Even though it's not likely, it's still mathematically a possibility. And so even in this game, Osasuna and Espanyol, even though you look at the table and you're like, they're not even close. It's just the way that it could work out. And Espanyol's win over Athletic Club was their first win of 2026. And it came at a crucial time as they looked likely to go down. And now with a 3-point gap and the same amount of points, they're on the same amount of points as Osasuna. It's a crucial game, but both teams haven't been great, and it's got them in trouble that they're in now. But Espanyol, they get that monkey off their back with that win. Osasuna, though, they still have theirs in the form of a 3-game losing streak and have lost 4 of 5 in La Liga coming into this game. Not a good time to start slipping with these results. So it's a big, big game for these two at the bottom of the table. And really, let's just see if our boy Ante Budimir has one more game in him, or a couple more, I guess, and can step up to the challenge and get his team over the line.
And 2 other teams that are on that relegation line and your second No Business Soccer podcast top matchup are Levante and Mallorca, who go head-to-head as they are both in the relegation zone right now.
That is, you talk about a 6-pointer. That is the ultimate 6-pointer right there. This is the season. I mean, this is the season for one of these sides. They know that they have to win this game. Because if they're level on points now and they end up level, maybe the teams above them are going to lose out and they can catch up to them. But you can't count on that. I think that both of these teams, they're going to have to go for it. And they can't play cautiously and hope for, a draw or hope to hit on the counter. They're going to have to go after it, because you don't know what's going to happen at the further end of the table. And all you know is that if you don't get 3 points on that scoreboard, or not the scoreboard, but if you don't get 3 points on your total after this game, you're in a world of hurt. And I think Mallorca, they can get it done on the road. I think they've just been the better team. They're coming in with a bit of a streak of their own as far as being able to score goals. Medici is right up there. He's only, actually, this is crazy. Medici is 2 goals back from Mbappe with Real Madrid for the Golden Boot. A guy that is a striker for Mallorca, who's in the bottom 3 right now, is right there for the Golden Boot with Mbappe. That's just absolutely insane. If he can get 2 or even 3 more goals and split the Golden Boot or win it outright, I mean, what a freaking season that would be. But of course, it wouldn't mean anything if they end up going down. So we'll see what happens. Levante, they seem like the team. Actually, Levante have screwed this up for everybody as they keep on winning. But I really feel like Mallorca can get it done. But we'll find out. Maybe it's just because our boy's going to Mallorca and I want them to be in the league when he goes.
Maybe bringing back a shirt. Bring back a shirt.
That's right.
Both of us back a shirt. Yeah. But those are your top matches for La Liga match day 37. Let's go ahead and get into the rest of the match day. And this is a semi-decision day, as most games are Sunday at 12 p.m., except Barcelona. We'll talk about that one at the end. But those 12 p.m. games start with Rayo Vallecano, who are in 10th place, only 4 points above the relegation line, as they take on one of the few teams safe from relegation, 3rd place Villarreal.
This is so crazy to hear. Like, you're mid-table and you're still, technically, you can get relegated. But Rayo and Villarreal are in great form right now. Albeit the Yellow Submarine did lose to Sevilla last time out, which was yesterday or whatever, a couple of days ago. But Rayo are still looking over their shoulder at the relegation battle, as they only sit a few points clear, as he was just mentioning. But the crazy thing is that they have a Conference League title or Conference League final in just a couple weeks. So there's still a ton to play for. You'd think that Rayo want to stay in the battle tested. They want to stay in game shape. They don't want to get, a little rusty. So I imagine that they're going to come out firing here, especially since they're not technically safe yet. But man, Villarreal are looking pretty good.
Next up is Athletic Club, needing a win to be safe from relegation, taking on a Celta Vigo squad looking to stay in the European competition place.
The closest team to beating Celta out for their European spot is Athletic Club. So it's perfect timing for these teams to play, because if Athletic Club, well, maybe not for Athletic Club, who've lost 3 of their last 4, but Celta, even if with a point, they seal the deal and they get in for sure to the European places, but they want to take out the team that can stop them, and that only team is Athletic Club.
And the next match in our lineup was one of your No Business Soccer podcast top matchups. That was Levante and Mallorca. We talked about it. So we will move on to Real Madrid, looking to finish strong, but they take on a surging Sevilla squad. Mute.
Mother effer.
Twice. That's twice.
I know. My bad. Yeah, we cut the first
one in.
Yes. Oh my God. I blame it on the sinuses. Okay. I keep having to snort and cough, and it's just, it's not fun. I mean, if you're in the Austin area, you know what we go through here.
We do appreciate that. Thank you for not doing that on.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's some freak out there that likes that type of stuff, but maybe that's not our audience that we're going for.
Yeah.
So anyway, my bad. Anyways, what I was trying to say is that Sevilla are nearly there with 3 straight wins. They've gotten themselves out of the relegation zone and 4 points clear with 2 matches left, which is absolutely crazy, because they were so bad, and it looked like they were about to go down before their rallying cry from their captain and their fans. And that city does deserve to have 2 teams in La Liga. And I don't think they'll pick up points in this game, though, because after all that, it is Real Madrid. But that was always going to be the case. And so we talked about it coming in, I guess, the last few weeks. We looked at the schedule ahead, and we said that Sevilla just needed to win the games prior to the Real Madrid match because they would be fine. And here they are. And I don't think they're fine yet. But even if they don't win this game, they've put themselves in a prime position to stay up.
And next up is Valencia, fighting for points to stay out of relegation as they head to Real Sociedad, who just need 1 point to be safe from relegation.
That's right. 4 points clear for Valencia and 6 for Real Sociedad. Technically, La Real could go down still, but it would take the teams below them to win both games and score 10 plus on their opponents, I believe it is. So it's probably not going to happen. Let's just say it's probably not going to happen. But Valencia, they're not as safe. And all that I was talking about is for Real Sociedad. Valencia, they need the points badly to get this relegation threat over and done with before having to go into the last game worrying about where they're going to end up. So both teams needing a point. probably end up being a point here.
Our next match is Elche on the relegation line, only saved right now by goal differential, taking on a Getafe side who are trying to get into Europa League.
Elche are level on points with Mallorca and Levante, who sit in 18th and 19th, and they'll be hoping that Getafe aren't going to be pushing too hard in this one. But even though Getafe are safe, that's the number one job. They're so close to locking up a European spot that they will not be going down without a fight.
Your next match was your other No Business Soccer Podcast top matchup. That was Osasuna and Espanyol. We talked about that. So next up is Girona, looking to get all 3 points, but they take on an already safe Atleti side who don't seem to be letting up.
Girona's draw with Real Sociedad means they're now 1 point above the drop zone. But the bad news is that Levante keep on freaking winning. So there's still 2 spots open in the drop zone instead of 1. And it's really anyone's guess of who's going to stay up at this point. But Girona just need that point to make sure, or need 3 points to make sure that it's them.
And your last match at the 12 p.m. Central Time is the well-relegated machine Oviedo looking to turn things around and play spoilers to Alaves, who are just 1 point above relegation.
That's a good way to put it. Like play spoiler, because Oviedo could really, really mess things up for Alaves here if they put a performance in and win, because Oviedo, again, relegated already. Alaves, they're one of the 10 teams trying to stay up. It seems like it should be straightforward for Alaves, but man, Oviedo, I don't know if there's any type of bad blood at all. I'm just saying, they could be a bit of a dick here and go ahead and win this game and send Alaves down.
And match day 37 ends with preferential treatment as Barcelona get a 2:30 p.m. kickoff instead with Real Betis. Both teams aren't moving in the table. Both teams going to the Champions League. Both teams probably just trying not to get hurt.
That's what I was going to say, a preferential treatment, but I think it's because this game means absolutely nothing, even like regardless of whoever gets the points. But yeah, again, Barca wrapped up the title. I mean, 7-point gap to Celta means that Betis aren't going anywhere. They're in the Champions League already, which is, I know I talked shit last episode, but I saw their game this past midweek in the midweek madness that we didn't cover for a random reason. I don't know why. Anyway, they look good. And they look good in the week before that. So Betis starting to come around. I'm starting to like the idea of seeing them in the Champions League. And they did make, I believe, the quarterfinals of the Europa League. So
Europa? Yeah.
I think it was Europa League or Conference League, one of those. But anyway, in Europe, they were in the quarterfinals. So, I mean, they're not a terrible team. And I apologize for saying that. I hope the Celtic can get in over them. Because Celtic proved once again that they're just probably not going to be at that level yet. Maybe in a couple seasons, but not yet.
Well, those are your matches for La Liga match day 37. We can go ahead and get a quick refresher of the table. Of course, we don't need a refresher on top, as Barcelona have been named your champions of La Liga soon, maybe soon. They have 91 points, which we will see very soon. They are followed by, there we go, Real Madrid, who have 80 points, 11 points clear of them, of Barcelona in the number 2 spot. And then 11 points behind them is Villarreal in the number 3 spot with 69 points. Nice. And then number 4 is Atleti. They have 66 points, and they are 9 points clear of Real Betis, who round out our top 5, actually. I almost did the tickling thing just because we were on number 5. That was a muscle memory right there. Yeah. Right now, tickling our top 5 is Celta Vigo with 50 points, fighting off Getafe for that Europa League spot. And then we look at the bottom of the table as we have our first I think this is the first time we have Oviedo relegated on here. They have 29 points. They are 10 points behind Levante, Mallorca, and then Elche in the 19th, 18th, and 17th spot, respectively. They all have 39 points apiece. But this relegation battle is insane, as Alaves and Girona in the 16th and 15th spot have 40 points, just 1 point above that relegation line. And then Espanyol, Osasuna have 42 points, only 3 points ahead of that relegation line. Sevilla, Valencia, only 4 points with 43 points apiece. And then Rayo Vallecano Athletic Club with 44 points. Again, only 5 points above the relegation line. Still not mathematically eliminated. And then our last team not mathematically eliminated is Real Sociedad, who's in 8th place. That's crazy. Can you imagine being in 8th place and still be like, okay, we got to win, otherwise we're going to get relegated? That's
only
insane.
that, they're 8th place and they're the Copa del Rey champions. and you can still be relegated. That is pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, this just shows how impressive of a season Real Oviedo have not had, because everybody's in this relegation race and they're already relegated. That's
They're like, oh man, we chose the wrong season to be sucky.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it for La Liga. Let's move this train right along to England.
Let's do it to the Prem.
You like letting you swallow your sip before I said that. I was like,
yeah,
it looks like he's good.
This is good. I haven't found this bottle. It's been really hard to find, but these single bears, it's really, really good stuff here. The orange label.
Does that mean there's orange in it?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, news and notes for the Premier League. Manchester City kept their title hopes alive with a dominant 3-0 win against Crystal Palace in their makeup game, moving within 2 points of the league leaders Arsenal. This means there are no more games in hand, and it's all even on the playing field for 2 games that are left. And that is bringing us to our next topic of discussion, Vic, which is Match Day 37.
Let's do it. Those are your news and notes for the Premier League. I almost said Prem with a Spanish rolling the R accent. I don't know why.
Hey, we moved out of Spain already, okay?
Yeah.
We're in England.
I'm still stuck in there. But let's go ahead and move to your top matches for the Premier League Match Day 37. And your top match is to cement Champions League placement as number 4 Liverpool take on number 5 Aston Villa.
We've got ourselves a Champions League playoff game here. Based on their form, though, I think a draw will probably be the most likely outcome, because if either side were to lose and Bournemouth were to win, it would cut the gap to just 1 point in the final match day, where they have Nottingham Forest. So probably going to be a win there too. Both teams are limping into the offseason, but can either of them put it all together one more time to seal that top 4 finish or top 5 finish, whatever? But something that throws a wrench in this game altogether is the fact that just 3 days after this game, Villa will be playing Freiburg for the Europa League final, which, again, the prize for that, winning that, is the Champions League. So I don't know how much is going to go into this game, but I do know that as far as Liverpool is concerned, they just need to win it, Vic.
Yeah, and those are your top matches for the Prem. Match Day 37. I will say, Villa, I was going to say just focus on Freiburg. It seems like an easier match, but I don't even think I can say that now. I don't know who would win out of Liverpool and Freiburg right now. It sucks. Yeah, so
to be Aston Villa, though, where it's like, oh no, I don't know which way I'm going to get into the Champions League. Poor me. Like, I have 2 options. Okay, chill.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, some people do have it worse. You're right. So let's go ahead and get into the rest of the Premier League Match Day 37. And it all starts on Friday with that No Business Soccer Podcast top matchup. That was Liverpool and Aston Villa. So we go immediately to Sunday, as Manchester United, safe in Champions League, take on Nottingham Forest, who are just barely safe from relegation.
And I should mention that the reason why these are on Sunday, and I'm just verifying because I'm not tripping. Okay. Is because the FA Cup final is on Saturday, and that's Chelsea taking on Manchester City. So you'll see the schedule is a little bit wonky, but that is why these games are all on Sunday, and the rest of the games are kind of scattered throughout the midweek. So anyway, just thought I'd bring that up. But yes, Manchester United Forest are safe, and that's job done for them. Well done for them. But it's the final home game of the season for United, and they will say goodbye to Casemiro and maybe a permanent hello to Michael Carrick getting the role next season. I heard rumors.
And next up is Brentford, looking to get 3 points and be in a position to sneak into European competition places as they take on a Crystal Palace side who are just playing for pride.
Brentford aren't in great form at all right now, but they're still only 2 results away from getting into Europe for the first time in their history, I believe. And while Palace haven't won a game in a while, Brentford have only won once in their last 5. The game being at the G-Tech, and the fact that the Bees have way more riding on this, I think they can get that win, and I think they get it done here.
Our next match are 2 teams who are on impressive end-of-season runs as Leeds United welcome Brighton.
Brighton are currently in the last European spot, 2 points clear of Brentford, and they've only lost once in their last 5 and are cruising in the league. It's starting to feel like the Seagulls are destined to finish in that Conference League spot, but they just need to take care of Leeds, who really have nothing to play for, but decided to play against Spurs last weekend.
Next up is an already relegated Wolverhampton side playing a Fulham team who are just trying to give their supporters a good send-off.
Yeah, not much to see here. Two teams that have lost 7 of their combined 10 games in recent history. Well, the last 10 games. Mathematically, Fulham could still sneak into the Conference League, but that might be done before the last match day. So, yeah, watch if you like these teams.
And our next match is Sunderland looking for a dub. And next they look for that dub at Everton, who have also not seen a dub in a month.
Similar to Fulham, Everton also can still technically get into Europe. They would just need to win both of their final games and have the teams above them lose. It's a long shot, but it's still possible. So we'll hope that they lose this game and lose all hope going into the final match day.
And Sunday ends with the game. Snooze is going to have notifications on for sure, as the relegation threatened West Ham United take on a Newcastle side who are safe and sound.
That's right. Newcastle have had an uptick in form recently, and that's not what West Ham want to be hearing at all. It's a massive game in the race to stay up, and West Ham know that they have to win here to stay in it, despite what Spurs may or may not do later in the week. It does not matter. West Ham need a win, and they'll be coming for that win at St. James's Palace, St. James Park.
We then move to Monday Night Football as the league leaders are looking to stay the league leaders, and they get a favorable matchup to do so as they take on the already relegated Burnley.
Arsenal have a chance to put the pressure on City going into the final day of the season. If they can beat Burnley, which they will, let's not say if, they will, then City have a much tougher task than they do because they take on Bournemouth and the Cherries, and they'll know they have to win. And the Cherries have been really, really good to end the season. And they're probably going to be getting into possibly the Champions League. So, yeah, a much tougher task for City than Arsenal in this penultimate game.
And that FA Cup final that Snooze was talking about earlier means we have a special edition Tuesday Night Football doubleheader as Bournemouth, who are in great form, take on another well-informed team in Manchester City, who of course need this win to keep pace and try to take the top spot from Arsenal. Yeah,
it might have sounded like I already talked about this game, but that's only because I was talking about Arsenal's, their result in conjunction with this game, because Bournemouth are one of the informed teams in the league and fighting for Champions League football next season. Areola is almost gone, and they know it, and they'd love to get this win to send them off in a great light. But City will know the result from Arsenal game by the time this one starts, so the pressure will be on, and man, this one's going to be fun.
And your match day 37 ends with your second leg of the special edition Tuesday Night Football. And in the previous match where we could possibly have a new number 1, this match might have a new number 18 as Chelsea, in miserable form, would love nothing more to send Tottenham to relegation.
And as we just said with City, Spurs will know how the West Ham game ended against Newcastle, and that'll be getting that blood pumping coming into this game. If West Ham lose, Spurs have a chance to be safe before the last week even kicks off. And if they win, obviously. But the issue is Spurs haven't won at Stamford Bridge in 36 years. This is stupid. And there have been some classic downfalls for Spurs and their bitter rivals home, most notably the battle at the Bridge, as it's known, and that is where Chelsea, that had nothing to play for, they put it all together to take down Spurs, who were lining up a Premier League title. And because of that loss to Chelsea, Leicester ends up going on to win that title, which, in all fairness, is pretty cool stuff and historic, even more historic than if Spurs had won it. But man, a dodgy Chelsea team that loves to put some misery on Spurs. I mean, we can't be. We're like in the parallel. What's it called? The zone, some kind of zone.
Twilight
you know what I'm
zone?
talking about? Twilight Zone. Yes.
Yeah.
We're seeing the same damn thing. And it doesn't bode well for Spurs.
Well, those are your matches for Premier League match day 37. Let's go ahead and take a look at the table. And this one's interesting. It's the only one that has not crowned a champion yet of the 4 leagues that we cover, as Arsenal are your number ones right now. They have 79 points. They are only 2 points clear of Manchester City, who have 77 points. And then in the number 3 spot is Manchester United, who have locked up Champions League placement. They have 65 points. And then number 4 spot is Liverpool with 59 points. They take on Aston Villa, who are in the number 5, round out our top 5, also with 59 points. Again, that matchup is going to be solidifying Champions League placement. And then whoever does not win, if there is a loser on that one, has to fight off the one tickling our top 5, Bournemouth, who have 55 points, trying to get into that Champions League spot, hoping that Liverpool or Aston Villa slip up. And if we take a look at the bottom of the table, Wolverhampton and Burnley have already been relegated. They have 18 and 21 points respectively. But then we get to the meat and potatoes. That's West Ham United have 36 points in the 18th spot right now. And then Tottenham are right above them, 2 points with 38 points. They're fighting for that last relegation spot. Not for it, Snooze. I'm sorry. But if I didn't stay out of it. Yeah. Sorry.
I was just thinking about it because I heard something in a podcast where they were talking about how Bournemouth, like coming into the season, they'd already lost some players, and so there was talk that they might not be able to hit the heights that they've been hitting recently, and then they go and they sell Semenyo to City in the January transfer window, and it was just like, okay, well, they're definitely giving up. But Iraola is such a great coach. And he's moving on to somewhere bigger and better. But he's such a great coach. He has this team poised to get into the Champions League for the first time ever. I think it's their first time in history that they'd be getting into the European competitions. But anyway, the fact that I heard was that they sold Semenyo, their best player, not even arguably. He was their best player, and they haven't lost since. And so I was like, there's no way. But I'm looking at it. Yeah, the January transfer window is January to February 1st. They have not lost a game since that transfer window. That includes, I mean, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games since they sold him. Haven't lost a single one of those. And that includes wins over teams like Newcastle United, Arsenal. They beat freaking Arsenal. Anyway, just really crazy stuff. The reason I bring it up is because, you would think you see a game against Bournemouth and City, you're thinking, okay, well, yeah, City more than likely probably got that one locked. No one has beat City since February, and if they're going to do it, they're going to have to do it with the guy that they sold to City who'll be playing against them. So it's absolutely crazy. A big, big game, and the stakes just keep getting ramped up for it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun last 2 weeks of the Prem. And then also, just, to toot my own horn, talk about Liverpool for a while. We play, Dad just had it. Brentford the last week. We're going to talk about this again next week whenever we do. But if Aston Villa beat us, then they play Manchester City last week. So they're playing for a championship. They're definitely going to put their best foot forward. Hopefully Brentford are just like, yeah, whatever. You guys can do whatever. So
yeah, you guys are good. Yeah. I mean, it's not mathematical, but come on, Liverpool are getting in the Champions League. It's fine. They're going to get in.
I hope so.
Yeah. They'll be all right.
Yeah. We hope. We all hope. You're right.
Well, run it back next season. Probably buy a couple more £1 billion worth of players. Slap it on there. It'll be all right. We'll figure it out. That's it, Vic. I don't even know if I want to keep talking about this stuff. I got knots in my stomach already. So, DJ, play our music. Vic, take us home.
All right, everyone. Thank you for spending time out of your morning, your evening, or your afternoon to talk about some European football with your boys here at the No Business Soccer Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe on all of our social medias. Everything is at No Business Soccer Podcast, except for TikTok, except for Twitter. That is at No Biz Sock Pod, because that name was way too damn long. Everyone enjoy the football this weekend. It's going to be fun these last 2 weeks, or just 1 week for Bundesliga, and we will talk to you all very soon. Cheers.
Peace.